Hi all, welcome back to another session on web methods. In this session, I wanted to show how we can create a common error handler for handling the errors and display it in Postman. Like say I wanted to create a REST resource and call multiple services in it, but I wanted to use a common error handler. So the use case is like this. Say if I'm creating an adapter service and for some reason the adapter was down and I need to display the status code as 503 and resources, I mean the response is resource not available. And if there are, let's say if you are doing a divide ins operation and you encountered the divide by zero error. So I wanted to display the code as 400 and I wanted to display this thing here. So this response. Same thing like if I'm doing a HTTP call and I want to display it as 408 for connection timed out. And let's say if I'm doing a add-ins operation and instead of adding ins, I give uh, decimal points in that. So it will throw some format exception and I wanted to display this error. So let's see how we can do it. For this, I have created a package and created all these things. So what I'll first create is I'll create a divide in service. Yes, divide ins. And if you wanted to do the error handling and all, you need to start with try catch. So I'll call the divide int service here, and my inputs would be num1 and num2 and its value. Yeah. And here, in order to catch the errors, we'll use get last error. So let's test it now. So when we run the service, if I give 1 and divide by 0, it goes to the cache block. Oops, sorry. Did I give you num1 and num2? Oh, it is done. Yeah, implicit mapping is done now. So now I wanted to run it. So it will go to cache block and it gives me Java arithmetic exception by 0 and all those things. And if all this pipeline data will be displayed, but I just wanted the data to be displayed as incorrect inputs are given. So which caused the divide by 0 exception. Yeah. So now in order to do that, I'll create a error handler. So to do that, I'll say error handler. Error handler, finish. And for that, I want the input to be uh, error. I'll map this here, this value here. And I want, I'll take this as error response. I'll say why I did that. So I'll be using the concept of lookup table for this. So you guys have already seen a video as well. I'll be doing a lookup and how to get the values. So I'm using the same concept for error handling here. So here I'll take one row and in that I'll insert two entries here. First, it is, let's see what's the error it has thrown here. Arithmetic. So I'll just copy this arithmetic value and build up my error. And as I said, I'll show you via Postman, right? I'll show you that how can that be invoked via Postman and what error you'll get. When it is arithmetic, I want status code to be 400 and the response should be given like this. Done. and okay. So my key will be in 0, and for that key the value will be in one index, and my key would be the input, and I want this to be true. Like say we will be ignoring the case, and since we are only passing the part of the error, I'll be using the regex for this, so I'll keep this as true. And as I said, I need the response code and response value, right? So what I'll do is, remember I kept it as 400 slash for this. So I'll use some service called tokenize. And in the input, I'll pass the value of value as this value. And our delimiter is slash. Okay. Uh, I'll drop all these things now. I don't need all these things. So drop this. Yeah. And I don't need this. In string delimiter, the value list, I'll map it to the error response document list, sorry, string list which we created. And after using this, I don't need the value also, right? And save. Yeah. So now I wanted to set the response. So for this, I will use set response code. The response code, I'll map this first index of this, which starts from 0. And then I wanted to set the response also. First is for response code, and second is for setting the response. So I'll map this from the response. It would be from the first index, 0th and first index. Yeah. And I want the content type to be text/HTML. So response code, once it is set, I don't need it. And here, once the response code time is set, I don't need this, and I don't need this. Yeah, save it. So this is our common error handler for all the services. So whatever errors we get, we'll just map it here. And I'll call this in common error handler and map my error here. You can customize it as per your need and project basis and all, but I just wanted to show how we can do it. So now I'll run it here. So previously we got the error as lang by 0, but we will now get a different value. So if I just run it now, so running it 1 by 0, see, got the error response, and incorrect inputs are given, which is caused by divide by 0 exception. But how can we view the same in Postman? So for that, I'll create a REST resource. She's like REST resource, and I will name it as error. Next, and finish. So I'll create this as slash error slash dividends, and service name is dividends, and I can use getter post, whatever it is. And then, okay, save it. So now let me run it from the Postman. So in order to do that, it would be local host num1 is equal to 1 and num2 is equal to 0, and give the authorization as basic auth, and then run it. See, it has given me the output which I needed, and it has also set the request here, which is 400 bad request, and the response is incorrect inputs are given cause divide by zero exception. So this is for handling the divide by zero exception in the common handler. Now, when I said common, it should be used by multiple services. So now what I'll do is I'll add one more service and say add-ins, right? And finish. Same thing here. Common, two, and value. Save it. And keep the try catch block in this call add-ins now. Pub dot math colon add ends. And the values will be mapped, and here I need the same thing, right? So I'll just copy these two services. Here, paste it. So here, just observe one thing. It is saying me divide by zero exception. Now, what I'll do is I'll create one more thing here and say slash error slash add-ins and give the service as add-ins, same thing, and save. So here, instead of divide-ins, I'll give add-ins. I'll give the incorrect value here. And prior to that, first let's test what is the error coming up. So based on that, we can form the error. So it is 1.2.0. String. Yeah, I know why that has come, because it is trying to get the value from here. So let me just debug it and show you debug as flow service, add-ins. If I go here, it is number format exception. So I'll copy format and go here and just add the value in it. So I'll keep it as second format and give it as 400, which caused this exception, and save. That's it. And add-ins now 1.0 and see. So now the divide by here 0 should be replaced with another error. See, invalid inputs are given, which cause the number format exception. So this is one way. This is a way where we reuse the multiple services. Now let's see another example of adapters here. For this, I'll create an adapter. Anything. Select, finish. It has taken this, and I'll just select. Yeah. And let me run and see if something comes up or not. So it is giving me the output. Now what I'll do is I'll disable this. And I'll create the, now if I run this adapter service, it should throw me some error, right? So it is saying unable to invoke the adapter. So I'll just copy something from this and then keep the error handler there. So I'll go here and add it. See, enable, and I'll say it as 503 resource not available. Yeah, yes, that's it. So here I'll create an adapter service and say it as adapter. Click finish. I don't want to take any inputs to that, so I'll just go keep a try catch block, and catch blocks should be same as this. Copy this, delete this, and this, call this guy here. Yeah. Now I'll call the adapter in this. So I'll say slash error slash adapter and give the service as adapter and give anything and save. So if I just say adapter and run it, it should give me 503 unavailable because the adapter database is not available. See, it has sent me a status as 503 and resource not available error. That is what I kept it in the error handler. Now let's me induce one error for HTTP also. So for this I'll say timed, and I'll go it as forward connection timed out. Yeah, and I'll create a service here called HTTP, and this copy all these services. Here what I'll do is I'll just call uh, pub dot client colon HTTP. In this I'll say HTTP colon double slash test.com. Method is post. Leave it as is, and I'll say connection time dot as 2 seconds. Yeah. And here I'll say slash error slash HTTP and give it as HTTP post or get, whatever it is, and save. Here I'll keep it as HTTP, keep it as post. We can use whatever we want and then send. See, it has sent me 408 request timed out, and it has given me connection timed out. So this is how you do the error handling for various services using one service. So that is why I say integration is all about reusing rather than recreating. Thank you.